righty then. All righty then.
Hello, hello.
Hello, 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 hello.
How are you?
Okay, okay. Wow, it seems like ages since we've
Well,
spoken. I
it
don't know
hasn't been that
why.
long.
Just, no, I know, but it seems
Have
like
you been doing a lot of things in the meantime?
yes, yes, yes. Oh, very
What are you
busy.
doing?
Lots of stuff. Lots of stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Making courses, updated the website. Taking care of the group, planning and plotting new things, making new connections.
Boy.
Got the new. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Lots of fun stuff. Lots of fun stuff. So yeah, Beena won't be with us today, unfortunately. She has a death in the family. So
Oh, I'm so sorry.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah. Just had one with her auntie, and so now
yeah.
it's
Well, a
in a
lot of
close
people
family,
are.
unfortunately. So yeah,
Yeah,
I don't think it's COVID related though. So
right.
which is at least something. But
Yeah.
so no, yeah.
Well,
So
it's
yeah,
interesting. Erica and I were talking the other day about someone she knows. I can't remember who it was. Had posted about. I think it was her dad had passed away, and it was a COVID
yeah,
issue.
yeah.
And
It's been a stepfather that's passed
oh
away.
wow, well that's really close then.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, this
yeah.
other person um, was all kind of all of a sudden after almost a year now, um, you know, recognizing that we have a real problem and that we need to be careful and we need to do, and you don't want to be, unkind to people, especially at, a hard time in their life. But it's kind of amazing that so many people, unless it is right in their own personal life, they just don't see it as
Yeah.
important, you know.
Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, we're profoundly selfish for the most part, but you know, there's a reality to it as well. It's very hard to not be that way because it makes life very difficult to live otherwise. So
Well, this is true.
yeah,
This is true.
we have to be real as well. So
This is very true.
it's difficult, 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 difficult. And also, especially with death, I don't have the same relationship as most people do. To me, I just see it. It's part of life. People transition, the relationship transition. You don't lose them in a story, So don't even, which is also helpful. When
Right.
you have that relationship to it, it is what it is. We just transition, we shift. Yeah,
Right.
well,
Yep. And
very
we do
important,
that with
very very
everything
important.
else. I mean, things
Yeah,
change. It's not like everything. Although I think
yeah.
some people's lives are more I can't think of a good word. They stay the same. You and then I look at as a positive for me. So many things have changed in my life so constantly
So
that you know
yeah,
that gives me the ability to
yeah,
adapt and change.
yeah,
So
yeah,
so
yeah.
there you go.
Wow, wow. We are lucky, Kay. Oh,
Ah,
we are blessed. The
good.
universe smiles on us. The universe smiles on us. Hello, Beena, Angel Sweetness. How are you, Beena? How are you?
I'm good. How are you, okay?
Oh,
I'm
good.
doing
Oh,
well.
good. Oh, good,
I'm
Beena.
sorry to
Oh,
hear
good.
about your stepdad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I hope you're doing well
yeah.
in that
Yes, yes, yes,
He's
yes,
and
better
your
yes.
now.
We love
family.
you dearly, Beena. We love you dearly. Everybody is really with you, and it's very heartening. It makes me a bit emotional. Just the support of others for Beena.
Yeah.
I don't mean to get emotional, but
Thank you so much.
it's very
Thank you so
powerful. Very powerful.
Thank you so much. Yes. Now much better.
Good.
Good, 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 Beena.
I was not able to make yesterday because in my religion and my culture, funeral is very, very quick. Like because
Immediate. It's immediate.
he,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
explaining to Sue. Yeah.
Really?
yeah, he passed away at 10:30 in the morning, and the funeral was at 4.
Oh my goodness! Wow, that is quick.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was that
I think it's powerful because it's it deals with it.
right?
It's just brilliant. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Right? Wow. Wow, Beena.
That's
Wow. It's
interesting.
amazing.
So, what happens at the funeral? What is it like?
Uh, uh, we have, like, for everyone, it's the same protocol, same thing, because we just I don't know how to say that. It's the same kind of a dress, like you can say that. It's just to wrap up, the kind of a dress people used to wear and still wear on Hajj, the biggest thing on Makkah, if you know.
Ah, interesting.
The same thing,
Interesting.
and it is same for everyone.
Hmm.
Man, same thing, and pure cotton, white, and just wrapping, and this is what it is. And then they offer prayers, and that's it. And the same grave, same everything. This is what it's been in our discussion before itself, that even the Saudi king or my father or anyone else, everything is same. The grave is same, prayer same,
I love
dress
that.
is
I
same.
love that.
Nothing different for
I love that.
anyone.
Yeah.
So no protocol special for anyone.
Yeah. No
Same thing.
hierarchy, in other
Right.
words.
That's what I was going to say. Can't
Yeah.
really buy
I,
something special. Yeah.
Absolutely
I,
not.
it's important to recognize, that for all your puffed upness in life, like Saudi King or whoever, sorry not
Uh,
to pick on them, but they deserve picking on.
yeah, exactly.
Really, you're just puffing yourself up. At the end of the day, you're the same as everybody else.
that's
So
right.
come on, get real, get real.
Here in the United States, the whole funeral business is kind of crazy, and I think they often intentionally, but um, prey on people's grief
Yeah,
um, to sell.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, when someone you love has passed away, you feel like you want to do the very best you possibly can for them. You want to give,
Yes.
and so I think that people are taken advantage of pretty often.
Also Islamic culture and Islamic religion both. I'm saying that the only thing you can do, and mostly 90% people, what they do for their loved ones who passed away is giving charity to schools,
Oh,
uh, and um,
I
installing
love
some
that.
water dispenser on the streets, or where places where actually there is no water available, and having a well for that. Mostly people do this. So the whole, if you have more resources, so you spend more money on this type of charity.
wow, that's
That,
great.
so nothing is special for the treatment of the dead ones or for the dead bodies, but
Right.
everything you can do is to give charity, in especially in these type of things, because there is a very interesting, but it's like that, the concept of a continuous good deed. Because if you dig a well for someone, if you just provide water in some area, so it's a continuous thing. The more people will get value from that, the more you will get. So this is the concept in Islam, and in Arab culture and Muslim culture also. So the money mostly we spend on these things,
That's
not
awesome.
That's
on the
amazing. Yeah.
no expense other than usual and necessary. No expense on coffin or any treatment. But everything else is just okay. Give charity to
Brilliant.
schools. Give charity
Well,
in Muslim culture.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's Arabic culture where water's a big deal. It's a desert culture, so yeah, water's a big
exactly,
deal.
exactly. So they do that. It's still like water
Brilliant.
dispenser you can see on the streets, and people just do that on their boundary wall, on their bungalows. So these things, like, okay, continuous water supply and chilled water, again, because we live in a hot climate. So chilled water availability is a big deal.
Wow.
People do, and now some people, they do that, like, okay, they just buy a home if they have more resources. So they They buy a home for any homeless.
Oh, wow. That is
Not
so
really.
cool. I wish we could
Yeah,
get that going in America.
yeah,
That would be pretty amazing.
yeah. If we took the best of all cultures and brought them together, imagine what a world we'd have.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah, yeah,
Wow. Well, that is very cool.
yeah, yeah. It's raining. It's raining. It's
It's
raining,
raining.
mommy.
Speaking of
It's
what,
raining. Yes.
right,
Oh,
well,
I love the rain. I love it. I love it. It's
I
raining.
can hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
well,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
it's not raining here.
Love it. Right. Right. Yeah. Well, I'm not. I'm in the desert here, so it's not very rainy place, but
No,
water,
rain is a
Beena,
celebration
water
in
of
the desert.
magic, water of life, magic.
what?
You know,
What?
some of the coolest things I remember about, I love the desert and,
Mm.
got to go there quite a bit when I lived in Utah. And I mean, so magical when it rains in the desert. And we would be camping or whatever, and I went to a couple of places where it rained, and all of a sudden waterfalls. You wake up and there's just waterfalls everywhere that weren't there before, and just only when it rains, here they come, and it's just cool. It's very cool.
Yeah.
It's very magical.
I like to feel the earth when it rains.
Oh,
Feel
it
the world.
smells fabulous, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, feel it. You're feeling the earth say thank you,
Yes.
absorbing this goodness, this appreciation. How can you not love the rain when you feel it from the earth's point of view? You have to. You have to. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
have
It's
to
very
say, I like rain
soothing.
in the
Very
desert
soothing.
more than anywhere else because
Mm,
it's
mm,
important and special.
mm.
And I
Yeah.
don't like
Yes.
to live in
Yes.
places that are
Yes.
rainy.
Oh. But
I don't.
especially in the desert when it rains, it reminds me of one of my absolute favorite quotes, also one of the shortest ones, which is drought always ends in rain.
Ooh, I like that. I like.
Always. Drought
Oh,
always ends in rain.
that's cool.
It's a very simple but layered quote. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
Okay, I
It
am
it came to me one day. Yeah, in the desert. I was just maybe 2 3 years back, somewhere around there. We'd had a long summer, uh, well, a long winter summer because it rains in summer here, but it was a long period where it should have rained and it didn't rain. So it's
right,
kind of a drought. Anyway, it's probably 7 or 8 months, something like that. It's long for a
right.
year. Where I grew up, you could go a year without rain, two
Yeah,
years even. Anyway. A very small town, or the very first town I was in. Um, and then when we stayed in the desert there, it was very rare for it to rain. Anyway, um, so I thought, wow, the drought has ended. Wait a second, drought always ends in rain. It's one of those dirt things, but it just makes us realize that it doesn't carry on forever. So
right.
there's no such thing as a permanent drought anywhere,
True.
nowhere. Yeah, yeah,
That is
yeah.
true.
Maybe on the moon. No, that's not true.
Well,
But
it's
that's not
certainly on the
technically.
moon. Yeah,
Yeah, but a drought is the absence of expected rain,
true. Ooh,
right?
I like
So
that
if
too.
there's no expected rain on the moon, there's no drought. So a drought always ends in rain. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. It was amazing, in that first community. When there were droughts, people pray, and you hear about them. They've got to slaughter their livestock because they don't have enough water for them. It's a pretty incredible thing. And then the sort of fear that you feel from people, what will happen in that, the community-wide fear. It's quite something. It's a big deal.
oh yeah, it actually happens in Oklahoma. True, we have it.
Yeah, you realize just how close people are to the land and the earth. It's not like they're getting water from elsewhere. There was
Right.
no big irrigation things, stuff like that. So
Right.
they were completely dependent on it. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Interesting.
But even then, there's always water somewhere, which is amazing.
Yes, that's because we're on the earth.
Yeah,
We have an atmosphere.
always water somewhere. Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
shut the
Crazy.
door because Joe is
Sure,
building
sure.
something, and I keep hearing him. Hang
It's,
on one
it's a
second.
it's a binal noisemaker today.
Yes, yes.
Hello, Beena, sweetness. Hello, Beena. Hello, Beena. Oh, I'm so happy to hear you. So happy. So happy. Brilliant. 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 Brilliant.
Oh.
So I'll catch up. I'll catch up. Okay, in a moment here. Just had a good. Jocelyn came on yesterday, just to
Mhm.
connect and to make arrangements for the trade and everything. So that was great. So exciting thing. You said, what have I been up to? I've been busy. So yes. So I connected with. Well, actually, let me start the thing off appropriately. I set an intent. Well, Beena and I set this intent for people to come to us, people that we want to know, connect to us, that are appropriate for the group, for the program, all of the stuff, right? So, uh, so in the same way, like Frauke approached us. I don't think you. I don't know. And then also, the new person, his name is Jocelyn, but the French pronunciation. So Jocelyn. I hope I do it justice. But anyway, so Jocelyn is a real expert in qigong. Studied in China, the whole thing. One of the, or the first American to study this particularly, he said, which I thought was rather interesting. It was kind of late in the day because he's not a, he's still, I guess, relatively young. He's not.
Yes.
Uh, he's certainly not young, like me. See, I'm not young.
Right, got it. Not
Yeah.
old, but just not young. Yeah,
Exactly. Right. I'm not old. Right.
right.
Exactly. I'm still young, but not old. Exactly. Anyway, so um, so anyway, so he's going to do Way of Impeccability, and he's going to teach us qigong. It's specific stuff like breathing techniques and all that.
Mm,
Anyway, so on Friday, let's see. Well, two things happening this Friday. So there's a lot going on this Friday. On Friday at let's see, 7. Uh, so 9 o'clock your time. Uh, he'll come on and he'll basically give us introduction to what qigong is. So if you ever had any queries and questions, come on this Friday, right? And you'll get a real understanding of what it's about, because he's very acutely aware of the second hand and third hand effect. By the time stuff gets to us in America, it's typically been commercialized and dumbed down, and
true.
and 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 also just made into a marketable format. Like yoga is a good example. I mean, yoga's a very deep deal
Yeah,
back in the day, and now it's just basically an exercise thing. That's it.
right, right.
So he's very acutely aware of this, and he can articulate what is actually going on underneath. So you are going to get a nuanced, a layered insight into precisely what qigong is. So that would be at 8 o'clock your time.
In
Gosh,
the
I hope I
morning
got it
or
right.
the evening?
In the morning, in the morning, in the morning. Yeah, yeah. Sorry,
Mhm.
I'm so used to everything being in the morning for me that I just take it for granted.
Cool.
Yeah. So I'll message everyone at the time, because I'm pretty sure I have the timing right, but I just want to make absolutely sure. On the day I always just double check, so I'll let you know. But I'm pretty sure it's that time for you. At any rate, and then after that, we'll be doing a Facebook Live with Sher, where she's going to read her book.
Oh,
So
wow.
all good, So, and we'll discuss it, of course, as we do. It's not just in and have discussions on all the deeper and finer points. That's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's a
1 hour away from us, so it's well. Let me see. No. That's right. 8 o'clock. Yeah, 8 o'clock your time. Yeah, because
okay,
it's winter now. Yeah, yeah. That would have been in summer. All right.
that's
So
right.
that's cool.
You don't have
Yeah.
daylight savings.
Right, but I have to adjust my times for you though, so
Yes.
it still makes it a bit tricky. I still have to take it into cognizance. So
Mhm.
so I'm looking forward to that, and then we'll be doing it. If you guys want to participate, you're welcome to. It will be that same time, Fridays and Sundays,
Oh,
ongoing. This Friday is going to do the introduction, and if you like that, it's okay. You can participate in learning it if you'd like to. Obviously, Beena and the facilitators and Donna and so on are going to do it. But I said anybody, if they want to come, it's just a bonus addition for
very good.
current participants.
Yeah.
So it's a time-consuming thing. It'll be a 3-month deal. So if you want to, you're more than welcome. So yeah,
Wow.
it's
Okay.
really cool. So I just wanted to put that out there. It's exciting stuff. So yeah, lots going on, and then we're working on doing a private subgroup to the Sassy group, which will be a subscription group where we'll be likely be doing wave impeccability, not the way we do it here, of course, it's not possible, but in a way we'll be doing it that's group appropriate. So that's another big deal, which again, anybody can be a part of as much or as little as they like. So
Great. Well, that's cool. Boy,
that'll be a big deal.
you have been
Busy.
busy for sure.
And then we're working on the capital D diplomacy course and the alchemist course and all. So yeah, lots of stuff going on. Besides doing the admin for the group, which is a full-time job.
No
So
kidding.
yeah, yeah,
No kidding.
yeah, we keep ourselves busy. Yeah,
Yeah, I would say
yeah,
so.
yeah. All right. So I'm also glad to hear the login finally got resolved. I still haven't heard back from support, but as long as you have access, that's all we care about in the meantime.
That's
So
right.
I will get your private access back again
Right.
because I do need to solve that problem. So we'll get to
Right.
that. We'll get to that.
Well, at least I got in there, and it felt like it had been 100 years since I.
That's what I was feeling. Yes, because when I said earlier it's been a long time, I realized, oh, it's been a long time since we been doing
Yeah,
course
regular.
material,
Yes,
sessions and slides and stuff. So
right.
I am keen to hear. All right, so
Okay.
Beena, before we get going, anything to add in terms of lots of stuff going on? Beena?
Oh, it is so exciting. This
Yeah,
is all so exciting, and
nice,
yeah, that will
nice.
be really interesting experience for every one of us, because it's a new
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And he's not the person who just go about things and get into surface.
Yeah, yeah. Really genuine, and he's very like us,
We definitely.
It's important. I don't bring people lightly into such things. I Yes, I do love
True.
everybody, but also my time and my energy is exceedingly precious. So who I connect with, it matters. It really, really matters, and I'm cautious about that. Yes, I go with attunement also, but nonetheless, it's important because this is where you are, where you grow with, and that's why I so love all the people we interact with. It's a massive big deal. It's really, really huge.
It
So,
is.
so I'm very happy. So it's early days, of course. I'm always cautious. You never know, but seems all good. Seems all good. Yeah, yeah. You have to be
Well,
sensible
okay.
too.
So,
All right, where were we? Where were we?
all right, where we are is module 6, which is habits and mood management, and we're on
Mm.
session 2, which is mood management and just being.
Excellent, excellent, excellent,
Which, you know,
excellent. One of the sorry, Kay, just to connect this real quick, because that's why I remembered us being here on session 6. One of the specific techniques of the qigong that I want to get into is a particular breathing technique, which is about changing our associations between body and mind
oh,
and how to connect those. Yeah, because well, you're saying it with pain now, but we're going to use it for wave impeccability.
mhm,
You can have pain associated to, for instance, let's just say a public holiday, when it has nothing to do with a public holiday, but it just happened to occur during that time. So the signals and the ability to connect those signals, this has been disrupted.
mhm,
So this is a technique and an ability to reassociate the pain signal with the brain in an appropriate way, right? So this goes very particularly, the exact same mechanism is in play when it comes to habits. It's
Yeah.
all about reassociation. So I'm very keen. I hope it is what I understood it to be, that we can use this as an addition to our already existing techniques of habit management. Very powerful, very powerful. So I'm keen. I'm keen. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So it's very, very timely, very timely.
Well, there you go. Works out perfect. I think,
Brilliant.
we have talked about this topic, um, a fair amount in the past, before I actually did this module. And it has been really helpful. But it is, it was interesting and good and helpful to go through the actual module and, really go through the whole thing. And so I found it pretty interesting. And this is a little bit different Biella and all of that. So that was kind of
Yes, there's a bit more in it. Yeah, just for fun. Just for fun.
no, it's good. It's good.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that is something that I'm kind of interested in a lot of ways. And we've talked about this a little bit before, but all these things keep coming from different places to me that talk about how the way that we really, the most powerful way that we really learn is through story.
Yes, yes, yes,
I have
yes.
always been, I think, more direct. And
Yeah,
I think that story is, I'm seeing it as just a super powerful thing. And, it was interesting the other day, Erica's been working and working on her letter for Dr. Naj. And she has really, that has been quite a project for her. But she would read to me and she'd read, this text that she'd written, and it was great. Um, but then she would tell a story about, and it wasn't in what she was writing, it was just something she was saying. And I kept telling her, from my point of view, that the stories were the powerful part. And, maybe reduce the telling and then increase the examples or the stories. And
yeah,
so
yeah,
I haven't heard where she is right now, but it was
yeah,
interesting to me. I mean, whatever she does with that is her own thing. But for me personally, it's really coming clear to me how that is the way our brains work. That is how we learn, is
yes,
really through
yes,
stories.
yes, yes,
So
yes, yes,
I'm
yes.
not sure where that's going for me, but
Why?
we'll see. So
Yes, yes, yes. So just one of the many courses that are going to come at some point is a writing course.
right.
Just yeah, it's called Writing Tips to Myself.
Mm, I
That's
like
how it started. But
that.
yeah, it's powerful, because if you pay attention to when you're learning, this is a really powerful thing to share, right? Because I had to consciously and deliberately teach myself to write. Just attunement it came. Okay, I got to do it. So, um, and when you do this, you do get to a point where you at least have some success. You also studying, you're learning about it, you come to understand it, and of course now you start connecting it to wave impeccability. Well, then the whole thing explodes and it becomes a whole different project. So in this case of storytelling being the most effective way to learn, when we're writing stories to ourselves and for ourselves, then we can make the story really overt in its lessons. But
Mm,
when we write for others,
right,
then we have to have the story be very covert, at least the lesson, I mean, be very covert. And people have to kind of not to be sure if you are intending to make your point of learning, but well, and then they put it together. They sort of feel like it's themselves putting it together, and
right.
then you get the most powerful effect out of it. So
That's
it's two different ways to come at telling stories. Frank Herbert was very particular on this. The author of the Dune series.
I didn't know about it.
Oh, all right. Anyway, it's a very classic, famous science fiction series that has quite a bit of implied learning to it. So, which is what made it such a great series. But he said you have to be very, very covert and subtle. Like your reader mustn't even know that you are looking to push a message. You put them off right away. Yeah.
Right.
So, so no teaching, no telling in your stories. In other words, it has to be very subtle by implication. Again, you can have your character learn from the story.
Right.
That's a different thing, but not the intent is for the character to learn, not the reader. Different, different,
Right.
or not learn. You can write a story where your character doesn't learn, and the reader says, "Come on,
Yeah.
seriously, what the hell?" I want to smack so many characters sometimes. It's like, oh, come on, really. So
Yes.
it's just an interesting little side effect, in terms of how we learn. It's very useful to understand how we learn. We like to learn by ourselves, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah, and for ourselves. We like it. We love it. Yeah, so it's powerful. Simple mechanisms, but it's nice. I just draw attention to it because it's nice to be acutely aware of this. Yeah,
Right. Right.
very
No, it's
useful.
very,
Very useful.
very good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go and do some of these
Yes,
slides
yes,
because
yes, yes,
I feel like I feel like it's been a long time. All right.
yes, yes.
So the first slide, um, my repeat back is: we can change the world in a positive way just by being aware.
Mm, mm,
Realizing
mm.
this leads to personal empowerment,
Yes,
and
yes.
which is kind of a summation of the whole thing. But so my takeaway is just by being aware, not being in an awareness bubble, I
Mm,
add to the positivity of the world. Getting out and staying out of awareness bubbles is a huge boon to the world,
mm.
as is easy to see when we look at the current world affairs. And I mean, really, with the current situation, you see the whole world is watching, this huge awareness bubble, um, and the ill effects of it. It makes it very easy to see that
Yeah.
each person working to get out of a bubble and stay out of a bubble is
Mm,
really
mm.
contributing to the good of the world. I mean, you don't,
Yes,
you don't think of
yes.
it as being this, huge thing, but it's a huge thing.
Yeah.
And
Oh, it's massive. It's
now,
massive. Yeah.
if the
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
who were
And
still
so simple.
had been, you know, had kept themselves out of that awareness bubble, you know,
Mm, mm, mm.
so yeah, it's really it's interesting how big it is, and it doesn't seem like that big of a thing, but it's a big thing. So
Very interesting. I'm in course making mode, and
oh
I didn't do this. Well, in the Monas project, the way the programs and the courses are is very different to Wave Impeccability.
right.
In this that yeah, the focus is very much on the process, the repeat backs, the takeaways, the understanding, the concepts, and the dictionary of power. This is all the focus. Yes, the tasks are important, but I was a bit cautious with the tasks. I didn't want to put participants off. I was scared that if I did tasks the way I would have liked to, I might put them off. I wasn't sure how much people would be willing to do the task. So now that I know, I don't hold back in the Monas project. So so but it's really potent because, well, there's a whole deep logic to it. um but yeah, I would have come up right with what you're saying. The task that comes to me would be to say, okay, can you give an example of how you have been affected simply via being aware of the awareness of another,
mm,
right? In other words, how their state of awareness impacted you. You just saw it, just noticed it, Not
right.
that they said anything. You just saw them. You saw their awareness, their way of being. In other, when we talk about awareness in this case, we're talking about their ways of being, right, or their ways of living, right. So, how are you
Right.
affected by somebody's way of being, their awareness, or are you?
That
Maybe
is a,
not past tense necessarily. It could be present.
right. Well, I hope that I am less and less affected by other people's awareness. um,
What a fabulous answer. What a fabulous response. Like there's no right or wrong answers, but yes,
right.
step one, I am less and less affected. All right, so let me modify that question. How have you chosen to allow influence
Mm,
and effect from the awareness and way of being of another? Right? In other words, what have you allowed in because you decided this was valuable to you?
right.
Better, more precise question.
Wow. That's a hard question. um, I think one of the big things that has happened for me through Way of Impeccability is um, that very thing is constantly looking and thinking about what is it that I want to allow myself to be influenced by. And um, I mean, just that is kind of a huge thing. A big change. And just realizing that it is my choice, and that I am responsible for making the choice, and then I am responsible for the choice I make, uh, is really huge for me. It's you don't feel like you're just being, pushed around by sometimes it used to feel like I was standing out in the water, pushed around, and I really can see that, that relate where in what I wrote with this. But I remember a while back, I made a choice to step away from some of the noise, um, watching the news very much, or being on Facebook, or any of that. Um, I mean, I kind of made the choice of what I was going to be aware of and influenced by, and not letting that be such a have such a in terms of time, not using my time that way, and not using my energy and my emotions in that way. And I felt a little bit of pushback. I mean, I didn't really say that, but I think it was just maybe in my own mind. Well, you're just burying your head. I am choosing when and where to get that information and how to react to it. And um, I am choosing to spend my time and energy on things that I can. Uh, I don't know. Control is necessarily the word, but to get
Effect,
to allow
effect
my
rather than control.
right to allow myself to spend huge chunks of my time worrying and being upset by things that I have no input on is not impeccable. It is not the best use of my energy.
Yes,
It doesn't
yes.
mean it doesn't mean just burying your head in the sand. It means making a choice, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so that has been
Yes,
an interesting
yes,
thing for me.
yes, yes, yes. So
Thank
let me
you.
ask Beena a question here. Oh, sorry, keep going if you
No, no,
yeah.
go ahead.
Beena, how have you been affected by Kay's awareness and way of being? Or how have you chosen to
Uh, like throughout our interaction, or any
hmm?
specific way you are asking?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
in general, overall, yeah, yeah.
In general, overall, as my own way of being with everyone, and also it is my choice that I choose to be receptive when I feel that, but definitely it is something from the other person, because it is not
Yeah,
something just happened automatically.
yeah,
So when
yeah.
it's a kind of like dual thing, dual process, back and forth, where I can, I'm just talking about myself, so I can be receptive for, and there's sometimes there is not, but with you, uh, as I tried to mention before, but you said, oh, because I was a kindergarten teacher, so that's why I'm gentle and soft and my way of communication. But it was not about the training. It is something which already exists in you. Yeah, definitely it refined, I feel, after dealing with people and especially kids. But this is something innate to you, and your way of gentle communication is so amazing for me, and I want to communicate. And
Yeah,
furthermore,
yeah.
it was not just the way of communication which was really interesting and appealing for me, but also your enthusiasm for learning. That,
Yes.
wow, like wow.
Yes.
People,
Yes.
you guys,
Yes.
especially you and Donna, of course, but Donna is in a different phase. And Sue also. Sue is more open too, and she has a different energy. But with you, with your all your gentleness, with all your sophistication, but the willingness to learn, to grow, was really amazing for me, because you
Yeah.
guys actually redefined all the cliche rules that, oh, till 25 you have to do this, till 30 you have to do this, till 40 you, no way. Like,
There you go. There you go. Yes. That. Yeah.
you guys actually redefine all the parameters for me in my life, that nothing is like this, it's all our own choice. So I, eh, because you triggered that, so I was in, and I still am, and I will be, hopefully will be in a complete receptivity from you. So for me, again, it is coming to receptivity. It is not something you can just by your own will, you can do this for me. I'm quite stubborn in that. If I don't want to allow anyone, no one can influence me. I have skills for that. But uh, it is something I choose to allow you to influence me and my thought process. And I'm so happy that I did that. I choose that, because every single moment when we discuss from the Princess Kiribug to now, till this way of impeccability, the way you are seeing things, the way you are looking at things, and you are perceiving things, it's a very different way. It's a very different way. Every participant is different. So we
Yes.
are also, but Kay, this is something I choose, and I'm totally happy and satisfied that I choose to be receptive for you, because I get value.
Yes. Yes.
Well,
Lots,
awesome.
lots, and lots,
Thank
and
you.
lots of it. Yes. Yes.
I
Yeah.
certainly feel the same way about you guys. For sure.
Oh, thank you. So now for me, right?
Hmm? Yes, yes.
That willingness to learn, the humility, and the nobility when it comes to resolution,
Mm.
right? To resolve things, you have a very particular nobility involved, right? That you are willing to do more, not just do more, but also take more on yourself. That you are willing to be uncomfortable, awkward, stressed, whatever, in order to resolve. right? You're willing to make that sacrifice for the purpose of resolution. That's really awesome to me. It's really beautiful. Plus, one of the things that also affects me is your capacity for immersion into the learning process.
Oh,
Oh yeah, this is a big deal. It's not just that you're saying, oh, here's this thing and that thing, and you're just connecting to the content. No, you take it and you go further and deeper into it, right? And you're thinking about it, all the time. So it's not just that you're thinking about the point. It's like you've got this point, and then it sprouts all these tendrils, right? And that's the immersion, those tendrils, because that's how the thing takes hold. It's got to spread roots. You take a new plant and you put it in the ground. It's not about the old root that it has. You can't just focus on the root, which is the content. No, that root, which is the new concept the new conception you've come into contact with, it has to grow and spread laterally and put its little side roots into the ground, right?
that's true.
Even if it's a taproot, even if it's a taproot, they have those little side tendrils on it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's really cool. And that comes from the immersion, which is meaning that you are not just willing to take this concept on as, well, this is a cool concept. No, you want to really, really own it and make it fully into yours and adapt it. And it's the implications, which means that there, by implication, that immersion, it implies a deep, deep intent to truly, truly change
Mm,
and be and grow and learn. This is phenomenal. This is phenomenal. So it's, every time we come on, I am influenced by this. And I like to be. I see it. I'm aware of it. It makes a difference to me. It's a big deal.
very cool. Yeah.
All of that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And the gentleness. I haven't managed to get my way of speaking to be influenced by your particular gentle speaking, but hey, you know what? I can hope. I can hope. I can hope. Maybe by absorption, osmosis, somehow it will come in. I was just thinking about that earlier today, that I really need to practice being a little less rough in my way of speaking.
Necessarily, not necessarily. The
I
world.
don't know that I'm rough, it doesn't sound like it to me, but sometimes when I watch the videos, in order to title them, I forget what it's about, so I have to kind of go through and recap. And it's like, oh my goodness, just chill, dude, chill, just relax, don't be so earnest. I get very serious sometimes. I always feel like I'm almost scolding the universe. It's like,
That's
wow, easy,
okay.
easy, easy.
That's okay. That
Calm
is
down, calm down. But it's my earnest intensity, so it's all good, I guess.
that's
It's
fine.
all good. It's all good. But yeah, so being affected by the others' awareness and letting that affect us, this is a big deal, and it's really potent. I mean, sometimes I just see somebody, and they just exemplify something for me.
Mhm.
Whatever it may be an earnestness, a grace, an intensity, a focus, whatever, an alacrity, even. It's like, wow. Do you ever watch MSNBC?
Yeah.
It's a particular reporter. She has a show in the mornings. I believe the hour just before this, right? So we're in now. What are you? 10 to 11, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So in other words, she's in the 9 to 10 hour. Anyway, MSC, it shows differently the schedules depending where you're in the country. But anyway, she's on in the morning. She used to just be a reporter. I think her name is Hallie Jackson.
Okay.
I forget the exact pronunciation. But if you see her again, look at her in her face,
Hmm.
just the face, and what that face exemplifies from an awareness point of view when
Interesting.
she's on, right? The sobriety, the sophistication, and the combination of the sober sobriety and sophistication. It is something else. It's really, really something else. I was thinking, there's a good picture of Biala when Biala's in sober mode, in very sober mode. Now, Biala has a deep gentleness to her also, but this is a nice exemplification of that. So, right this very morning, I was affected by that. Just, yes, I guess she's an attractive woman, but that's not what is the exquisiteness that I want to refer to. It is the exquisiteness of somebody who has, in that particular role and space and time there, has themselves together, They know what they're doing. They're in charge of themselves. They're aware of what they're doing. They're precise. They're exquisite. They're sophisticated. They're looking beyond. Really nice to see. You don't often see that. So,
Uh-huh.
you know,
I'll have to check
yeah,
her out.
it's nice to, yeah, it's nice to pay attention to mourners. Nice to pay attention to mourners. Here's somebody who is clearly in a space of mourners. It's very nice to see. Very nice to see. And I've seen her come up. I saw when she started off as a reporter. I've been
Right.
watching for a couple of years. She's come very quickly. And that's the other thing, that it's not, she's owned it. She's made a deliberate point to be there, but without ambition. This is sobriety and sensibility claiming itself. It's very, very encouraging to see. Because we see people get to positions like that and they're there because of ambition or whatever, and sometimes luck of the draw, there's
Right.
filling a thing in, or but yeah, it's really nice to see. So yeah, very cool, very cool, very cool, unusual, and just the way she asks questions as well. Some get there because they're sort of aggressive, and there's
Right.
no. She has a balance. She has balance, capital B balance. See, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
very
Well,
cool,
I'll have to
very
check
cool,
it out
very cool.
for sure.
Yes, yes, yeah, yeah. Yeah, exciting stuff, exciting stuff. So and the other point I want to make here is my long story, not other point. The key point that I'm after with all of this, to come back to my center column, the reason for me going in this whole long roundabout way, it is to make the point very, very, very clear that we do not have to do to make a difference.
Great. Yeah.
It's to be, right? All we need do to make a difference is to be. If you want to put it in a nice little quote, right?
Yes, which is basically the underlying concept of this entire um
Exactly, exactly,
uh
exactly. And it was your point that I'm simply elaborating on and
yes,
extrapolating, right? That's
yes,
the point that you made when we started going over the notes. It was the first thing you said, right? So I want to just sort of demonstrate this and give some self proof, not only how you have been affected by others and their awareness and their ways of being, but how you affect others. And I used Beena and Aya as particular examples, right? And very clearly, Erica also. As much as it might not seem like it nowadays, but yet so.
yes,
And that's appropriate as the relationship goes. That there is a shift and change, but it's just a magical part of the world. That it is like that.
yes.
So yeah, yeah,
Ooh,
it's very magical, and that's the other thing that truly is beautiful all the time. You and Erica and Joe,
yeah,
your relationship. This is a precious thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's really magical to see. Really something special. Really awesome. Very inspiring. So again, you change the world just through who you are. Yeah, and I'm really belaboring this point because to be consciously and clearly aware of not how only how I don't have to be aware of how I change the world, but I want to be aware of how others change the world, so that I can avoid this slippery slope and that a very sneaky lure of the ambition lure that says you got to do things to make a difference. No, you don't. No, you do not. Right? And yes, you can go and do things. Doesn't mean that you can't, but you do not need to. And that's important. Right? This is the bigger point that I'm after. Right? So that we can find peace of being through simply being who we are. Yeah? When
yes,
we are our impeccable selves, when we are our moreness, when we're in touch with that, we are enough and we're also more.
yes,
Yes? Yeah. Big deal, big deal, very, very big deal. Because this is all about, in other words, my bigger point, it's always a bigger point, is about peace of being, right?
yeah,
That's what we're talking about. We're talking about peace of being here. It's very powerful, very, very powerful.
it is. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Again, you had that experience, but
yes,
it's very important to reconfirm it to keep it in touch, right?
yes,
That's what we're doing now. All right. That's my intent here, is to reconnect to that, keep in touch with that. Yeah.
yes. Um, yes, and I that has been an interesting thing because you did make such a big point about really protecting it and maintaining it, and I have at times when that has seemed to slip away, I
Mm,
have remembered your point and really tried to go back and say, okay, wait a minute, because I have had this
X,
experience and
X, X.
what is going on right now? Oh, it's trying to, take away that. And I am not allowing
Yes,
that to happen. And that has
yes,
been really
yes,
helpful
yes.
for me.
Another point that's very effective, I would say, for probably for Bina also, is the sharing of self honesty from you, particularly, right, Bina?
Say it again, please.
Yeah.
The sharing of self honesty.
Absolutely.
Okay. Can you
Huge,
give me a little more
huge.
explanation on that?
All right. So you can be honest and talk about stuff that goes on. And that's one thing to say, I did this, I did that, I feel this, I feel that. But when we share self honesty, internal self, that's bonus. That's not stuff you necessarily need to share always.
Oh,
But
okay.
when it is shared, it is the most precious, beautiful, awesome thing ever.
Mm,
Right. Now, I said specifically when you share self honesty with us,
right.
right? I don't feel you necessarily always do this with everyone. And
No.
yes, it is appropriate and difficult. However, I'm mentioning this specifically to bring that into awareness so that when we do share self honesty with others, it is a magical, profound thing, particularly if we do it in a particular way, that we are sharing our self honesty,
Right.
not for the purposes of telling them anything or educating them. I'm
Right.
simply sharing my own inner self honesty. And this is one of the most precious and magical things we can do. And we can do it anywhere with anyone, at the bus stop, at the bank, in the IRS, it doesn't matter where. Anytime, anywhere. There's no limit on it. And there's no appropriate environment. You can do it anywhere, anytime.
Hmm.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay. Well, that's a good thing to know.
Yeah, yeah. When you do get into that, you'll see how it goes. You'll just see the opportunity will come and you'll say, I was just thinking about that. And then you
Right.
share whatever it is you were thinking about. It may have nothing to do with anything, but
Right.
when it's always potent. It's always, always potent. And I have just, last time I was at the DMV, that happened. I shared a little bit, and it just transformed the whole interaction. I
Mm,
had to get the license plate for the motorhome, register it, and it became a really fun interaction, and likely it would be a memorable one for that lady for the day, if nothing else. It was like, it was really a cool interaction. Why not? I mean, it's a boring job, so,
oh,
now it just the appropriateness brought it up. Okay.
right. That's cool.
I got value out of it. So
Oh,
yeah,
there.
it's very cool. I didn't do it for her. It was just the appropriateness brought it up.
Right.
But because I'm open to the possibility that I can do that, I now had fun interaction sharing with that lady. It was really great. We
Oh,
laughed. It was really great. Yeah, it
cool.
was profound and joyful. And that's huge. It's just you. I'm saying this, that it opens a door that we do not believe exists.
Well, I think that I tend to do that more naturally than a lot of people. Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure why, but Sarah, go lie down. Go lie down. Come on.
Yeah.
Get out from under there. Go lie down. Good girl.
She says, I am lying down. I'm lying down over here.
No, she's not.
Oh, she was
On,
lying down by your feet. Oh,
no, she's
oh.
she,
Th-
well,
Yeah.
can't tell. She's
Anyway, you were saying?
I think that I have a tendency to share and I mean and I think of it as part of it as being friendly. Um I tend to
Mm.
talk to people more than, strangers more than a
Yeah,
lot of
brilliant,
people.
brilliant, brilliant,
And
brilliant,
I
brilliant.
think, I mean, for me, um, it's interesting. I mean, I'm feeling more and more and just I mean, I think I've always felt this way, but I'm more aware of it. Just how people, it does not matter. It doesn't matter if you know each other. It doesn't matter, where you're from or what you look like or how old you are or,
Yeah,
how much money you have or
yeah,
whatever. It totally does not matter. People are people.
exactly,
And
exactly.
as people, we need to have that connection and we need to communicate with each other. And not some big, huge thing, but just, I'm not shy about just having a casual conversation with, someone at the grocery store. Not anymore because I don't go to the grocery store, but, um, even people walking. Um, it was so interesting yesterday. Um, I've been doing really well on my walks, by the way. I have been walking farther and farther, and
Oh, we
I've
haven't
been
heard about your walks. I want to hear
no,
more.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I have gone 7 miles several times, and I've gone between 6 and 7 miles several times recently, which is pretty far. And it's been really cool. I've been, because I'm walking farther, I'm going into areas that I haven't been in before on this trail. And yesterday, I guess it was because it was Martin Luther King Day, a lot of people were off. And so there were a lot of people out yesterday. And in certain parts of the trail, there's a bigger concentration of people because there are things for kids to do and stuff like that. And but it was funny because there were people out who apparently don't normally come to this area. And so the trail is divided in half between people on foot and people on wheels, whether it's bikes or skating or, whatever. There's that section. And then the other section is people walking, running, whatever. And a lot of times, even though there's a big line right down the middle and there is a big picture of
Yeah, yeah,
somebody on a bike and somebody walking, a lot of times people just, I mean, talk about awareness.
yeah.
A lot of times
It's
people are
amazing.
not aware
Yeah.
and they get on the wrong side and they get in each other's way. And um, so there were people, kind of standing out in the middle of the trail. They were walking, but they were on the side where bikes come by and stuff like that. And so, and I have in the past said something to people, although I find a way to say it that isn't accusing, or like, you stupid dummy, can't you tell that you're, whatever. I don't say that. I say, oh, did you know that the trail, is divided and those of us who are walking should be on this side, and that way, we don't get in danger of being hit by a bicycle or something. And every time people have seemed totally happy and grateful that I said something to them. And they just were unaware. But that happened a couple times yesterday. And someone behind me, a couple behind me, said, yeah, there's just a lot of, people just aren't paying attention. And it's just amazing how stupid people are, or whatever. And so it was a good opportunity for me to practice the positivity thing that, we're talking about in this session. Um, just very consciously not getting into a negative. It would be easy to be negative, and then when somebody comes up and starts talking in a negative way, um, it would have been easy to fall into the negative. And I was able to avoid that. And
Oh,
that was kind of cool. I was able to not get sucked down into that negative view of it and say, well, a lot of times people are just not aware, and usually they're really appreciative of, when I help make them aware of that fact.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
the couple's okay, great, well, have a great day, whatever, and they went off. And so it was, I mean, that's a very small example,
No,
but those kind of things are kind of the butterfly effect, of
Mm.
if you're,
exactly.
you know, and I love the idea, and that's in this session about how you don't have to be positive, necessarily, but just not negative. And I think that's kind of what happened.
Just not negative. That's our core mandate.
Right.
This is our imperative, our ethical uh, uh, mandate, right? That we cannot be negative. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And I
Exactly.
mean,
It's so
that's
simple.
a challenge. That can be a
Yeah.
challenge sometimes.
Exactly. I want to ask
Yeah.
you something. Was in that particular moment when someone says that something negative about, and which was the situation around you, yeah, was that question tempting to fall into the negative, like, hey, yes, like,
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes.
now,
Definitely. I think
now it,
that's one of the things is a choice. You have to make a conscious
oh my God.
and deliberate choice not to do that.
It is something more than that because okay, when things are okay, when someone says that, and we also already have that awareness that yes, we don't want to fall into negativity, so we choose the positive one. But when things are tempting, when we are also in that situation, then it is a different deal because you are in that situation, but still you are choosing to not. So
Right.
it is a super deliberate thing for me because
Yes.
situations are tempting,
Mm.
then you need some superpower for that, and it's super
Yes.
deliberation, it's a superpower,
Yeah.
and then you choose, which is good. Wow. It's not a simple or small example, it's a very big one because it was tempting.
It was. Yeah, it was tempting.
It
Yes.
was
Very cool.
Well, and I'll tell
Very
you, there
cool.
was another interesting thing that happened on the walk yesterday.
Ah,
Um, and again, these are really small things, but these are real.
no
They're
such thing.
real
No such
experiences.
thing.
So so it's not small because it is
Yeah.
something that
Yeah.
actually.
Never. Never.
Um, there's an area in the park where there's a little walking bridge. It's very small, little short thing that just kind of goes across over the path where I'm walking. And there were some teenagers, young teenagers, um, maybe even preteen, type,
Hmm.
that were
Hmm.
up on the bridge. Um, and I was still pretty far back. I could see them. And there was a boy and a girl. There were several kids, but a boy and a girl. The girl, they're like kissing, and the girl jumps up, and the boy holds her, and everything. And I'm like, oh, whatever. And um, I mean, these kids, I'm like, whatever. So,
Right, right. But just why I'm amused is because of different realities that we live in.
well, true,
Right,
true, true.
right, right.
Yes.
It's
So,
just what's commonplace for you is not necessarily so for someone like Beena, maybe, which is
might
fabulous.
think,
I
oh,
love
well, okay, this
it. So
one.
beautiful.
So they take that a little farther, and I don't really know exactly what was happening,
Hmm.
but she gets down and she leans over and bends down, and he is behind her, and it looks really bad. And
Wow.
um so and I'm walking underneath, and I mean, I don't think anything was really happening, but it was not
Yeah.
appropriate
Yeah.
looking from my point of view,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
and so I'm sure I made a
Wow.
face, of
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, oh
Your
my,
best school mom face.
I know, my best school bus. And so I hear the girl um talking as I'm going under the bridge, and she goes, "Oh, ha ha ha." an old lady was just looking at us. So there were a couple of things that went
Sorry that I laugh, but that's funny.
so you know, I'm thinking to myself of remarks I could make.
Yes. Now you are miffed. It
Now
wasn't inappropriate before, but that comment most decidedly is inappropriate.
so, through my mind, I'm going through all these, things I can, and they're all pretty negative. Should I just say that? Um, and I mean, I really did. I really, really did, though. I mean, talk about temptation. Okay, I overcame the temptation back there, but I get up to this point and I have an even bigger temptation. And I will say that it was harder, and probably in large part because it was more personal. Um, but I thought about it for a long time. I thought about, and I was probably 2 miles from home at that point, not quite 2 miles. And so I had a long ways to think about it.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
um, it was interesting because I was able to, um, just to really, I mean, first of all, I mean, that's the whole stepping back thing again. I was able to step back. I was able to step away from that emotional bad feeling, whatever, and think to myself, first of all, why is that bothering you? I mean, first of all, she is probably maximum of 15 years old.
Yeah.
And so to her, I am an old lady, you know?
Yes, ancient.
And and I mean, if you look, I mean, I'm getting ready to turn 65, in a
Right,
couple of
right,
weeks.
right, right,
And, I've been going through the
right.
whole Medicare thing and having to make that.
It's retirement age, which,
And yeah,
technically that's,
it is
yeah.
and so I'm thinking, okay, so
Yeah.
realistically, if you're talking about a
Yeah.
number or whatever, yeah, I mean, that's nothing to, and then I move into, okay, is that a bad thing? And why
Mm,
is that perceived of as a bad thing? Um,
yeah.
I should be and am honored that I have, not everybody gets the chance to be 65 years old. There's a lot of people that don't
Exactly.
make it that
Exactly.
far. And
Right.
so I not only have I, do I feel sort of quote unquote lucky, but I also,
Mm,
I have survived. I am a survivor.
mm,
And that is in part due to my good choices. It's in part due to, you know,
yes.
things that I
Yes.
have done that have been positive and have,
Yeah.
made that happen. Um, Certainly not entirely, but, in part.
Right.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's actually something to feel proud of and to feel grateful
Hell
for,
yeah.
feel
Hell
happy
yeah.
about. And
Yeah.
what some little girl that I don't even know, thinks about it, who cares?
Exactly.
And so,
Exactly.
but I mean, it was an interesting experience
Yeah.
to go
Yeah.
through that and really think it through,
To it. Right. So let's in terms of
right?
attention. So when you were walking by, it was inappropriate by all appearances, right? I mean, very and you. The question really was to interfere or not to
Right,
interfere, to say something or not to do something. You weren't exactly sure, right?
right.
But that comment, right? So that was your intent. That's where your intention was. But if you think of that comment as an answer to that particular attention, then how does it change the comment, the implications of that comment
Hmm.
in
I'm
that context, right? As an answer to your, you wanted resolution of some kind. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
right,
To me, that answer gives you an answer to that,
right, right. That's true. That
or
is true.
confirmation of the answer, right? Because
Right.
what are the implications? If she's saying, "Oh, an old lady was looking at us," there's an awareness of the inappropriateness.
Yes, 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 for sure.
Answers your question. You
Yes.
didn't need to do anything, and look where the story comes. What's been our center column?
About not having to do something, but having just be.
Awareness making a difference. Your awareness made a very clear difference right there.
That's true.
Just
That is
there.
true.
Just by being an old lady, you made a difference.
There you go.
Okay, all right. I'm being a bit mean. I'm rubbing it in a bit, but
No,
well, we can laugh. You see, but that's the genius of it. Well, I'm also not being entirely only humorous. It is that now we can make peace with it to say, wow, there's an extra benefit of getting to be this age.
right,
You make a difference because of it. So brilliant. That's really cool, and it let you know that her pulling back and being able to make that comment puts a break in their things and gives a pause, and she's looking at the thing from the outside.
right.
So things, they're not completely lost inside an immersion bubble. So lots of answers to your query, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
you could go away with a clear conscience, in other words, that no further action was needed. Yeah,
Right, right.
yeah, yeah.
Which, yeah,
Fantastic. What a
yeah.
gift from the universe.
I know.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
attunement anomalies. We want to pay attention to them. It's this very small anomaly, but it's something that grabbed your attention,
Yes.
and your attention was grabbed in the first place. That second gift of attention is the resolution to the first one. That's typically,
Yeah,
often
yeah.
how it works. So yeah, yeah, very powerful to be aware of. Very
It
cool.
is.
Very, very
I'm
cool.
telling you,
Magic.
my walks have been really important for me.
Yes, 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 yes. I mean, you could say your walks are living.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. How cool is that? How
It's
cool
very
is
cool.
that? Again, if you take it in the context of being affected by awareness, you are being affected by the awareness of the world.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And your awareness on these walks definitely makes a difference.
That's true.
Clearly, clearly, all your stories involve some sort of interactivity relative to you, purely from an awareness point of view.
That
They are
is,
all stories that exemplify this particular point that we are on now.
yeah, that is true. That is really true. That
That's
is really
amazing.
true.
It's so brilliant.
Very cool.
That's so brilliant. There's
Okay.
another thing from you that's something that really is very influential and very effective, I should say. It is this interconnectivity of yours with the world. It is
Well,
something to learn from. K connected. That's why I chose that particular name. The name thing. It's really it seems like a kind of a fun thing,
yeah.
but it's a huge deal. I pay a huge amount of attention to it, and I set that intent to have an appropriate name come, truly, truly appropriate, and every single one has been absolutely just exquisitely spot on and fantastic. Right? Every time, I mean, look, even her book is called Unbound,
I
and
know.
it started with me calling her show Unbound. So,
Yeah,
and it's just set on a whole path. Sue edited, Erica empowered. These are big deals. The names, they're very, very, very big deals. Yeah,
that
yeah.
is true.
Robin Repainted is the other one. That's particularly good.
Oh, I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah, and also because her last name is Painter, so
Oh, really?
yeah.
That's
So
cool.
there has to be,
That's
the alliteration a little bit if possible. K connected, your
right,
connected is spelled with a K, so
right, right. I like it.
big deal. It's a
Absolutely
big
like
deal.
it.
It's a big
Very
deal.
good.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
What is Beena's name?
Been a beautiful.
Oh, Beena Beautiful. Okay.
Oh, she's got love. Been a beneficent as well. She's got many of them. Yeah. Been a magic.
So
I
it's
have lots of names for Bina. I haven't. I
yeah.
don't have a specific one, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Just
Oh,
be, just be, as in be. Like decent. Yeah,
yes. Oh, yes.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So probably if I had to write it that way, I'd say Bina B.
Right.
Mhm.
B.
If I had to choose a name for Sue, I haven't because it hasn't come up. It's just in a different way. So, but then I would probably say Beena, B E. Yeah. Yeah, Beena, say again.
No, this is interesting because I was a bit. You can say that I was reluctant to have any specific name even when it was about self-conceptions and when it was about choosing your name as a spirit warrior and all that. So I just still have one power learner, and I didn't choose anything else.
I
So
like it.
still have one, and I'm quite satisfied because I'm still getting value out of it.
I like
So
it.
with yeah, so with my name is it was BSID. I used to do I used to use this name in my verbal selfies. So this is verbal selfie is my writing thing. When I write something, I call it verbal selfie,
Verbal
and
selfie. I like it.
yeah, and the name I choose for this is B Sid, uh, and Sid. I don't know. My other friends they have some connection like that. It is from Siddhartha, but I said no. It's a big deal. I'm not there, so it's a big deal. It's a big deal,
Yes,
but it
yes,
is somehow.
yes. Which is why the name Beena B is so utterly appropriate because Siddhartha was all about just the being, and but yet it's Beena and it's B's name, so it takes all of that into consideration, and there you go, utterly appropriate in every way, and that's all. That is what we so really enjoy and get so much out of is Beena just being Beena, right? It is the magic for us. But it is, everyone has a particular angle to their magic. That connectivity for you is so remarkable, so pronounced. Yes, of course, you need to just be K as well, but to be aware of that particular connectivity in your case, it is so pronounced, it cannot be ignored. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a particularness to these things. It's a really particularness thing.
Well, I think it's really cool that you are so perceptive and um, can, really see things in other people. I think that's really cool.
It is a skill that I have developed over the entire course of my life, assiduously, with great passion and determination and persistence. I would just as a young man, this is well, even now. It's what I would do every single day was learn people, get to know them,
Hmm.
understand them, so now it just when you take all of that, the lifetime of this, it's like an artist or a musician when they do something, they don't even think about it, it just comes
Right.
innately. So I
Right.
just have to set the intent, and like now with Beena, I never did that before specifically, but now you said it, well, there you go, it would be Beena B. This is it, just
Like it.
yeah. Yeah,
Okay, I
and then
think.
there's so much layers to it. You could
Okay.
like it's BE but not BEE, but you could certainly have fun with the BEE too. anyway,
That's true.
anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But no, it's just BE. But keep going, keep going, keep going.
Oh, I just say I think
Oh,
we should keep going on our because we've
mm,
only done
mm,
one
mm.
slide.
I know, let's keep going. Yes, that's what I was about to say myself.
So, yeah.
But it's
Okay.
all good. It's all good.
That's all right. That's good.
Mhm.
The second slide, my repeat back. We need some extra pressure and leverage, which I loved in the slide how she said leverage. I love that. That was so cool. Which kind of makes sense
Yeah.
because it is a lever.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
But
yes.
anyway,
Exactly. And for me, I grew up saying leverage. I
right,
only say leverage now because I've been corrupted by
right,
Americanism, but it's
American.
leverage, for heaven's sake. You're using a lever.
I know it makes
Leverage.
sense. It makes sense, but I had never heard it
Right.
spoken that
Well,
way.
and also leverage technically would be with two V's, no?
Mm,
A
no,
shorter and a longer.
the short. Well, actually, that's true. That is actually true. Grammatically, it would be
yeah, yeah,
leverage. All
yeah.
right. Anyway, we need some extra pressure and leverage in order to manage our moods. We agree to our moods because they feel natural and justified. We even agree to bad moods because we think they are justified. My takeaway when I realize that my moods are a choice, justification isn't really enough to make me want to go along with a bad mood. It's justified,
Mm,
but so what? Is that a good enough reason to endure being in a bad mood? No,
exactly. Exactly. It's not. It's not.
it's not. And it's, I mean, being in a bad mood is not fun, it's bad. So, why do you want to do it? Um,
Exactly.
so the next one, self conditioning results in going along with with feeling things we don't really like. Once I realized that my feelings are my choice, everything changed. Rationalizing having bad feelings doesn't make them feel any better. I mean,
Yes.
the thing, the
Yes.
thing that
Yes.
when you
Oh.
do that, the thing that
Oh.
feels good is that the rationalizing. It's
Oh.
not the feeling. So, you know,
Repeat that for me, please, and send and put it in chat. I want to add it to the program.
oh wow. Okay. I'm not sure I can say.
Very simple, but it's a big deal. What you just said. It's a
Okay.
very big deal. Yeah.
What I wrote was, once I realized that my feelings are my choice, everything changed. Rationalizing having bad,
There you
and
go. That's what I want. Just that part.
rational,
That's that part.
but the thing that came to me after was that it's
Oh,
the
oh, oh.
rationalizing that you think feels good.
I'll add that then.
It's the
Yeah. Yeah.
rationalizing,
It's the rationalizing that feels good, not the underlying feeling.
right?
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to send.
Messenger either way, but you can put it in
Oh,
Zoom chat. I'll close Zoom, but I'll copy it right now, so that's fine. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Oh, I gotta find the. There we go. All right. So you popped it in Zoom chat, yeah?
I didn't, but I will. I don't. I haven't.
Uh,
I, well, I don't know how to do this stuff. I mean,
yeah, yeah. Well, it's just there on your Zoom controls. Just go
I got.
to them and you just click on chat. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's see if I can just actually copy it. And whoops.
All. So it depends on if it's on its own part in the page. Otherwise, you just have to drag it to select it all. So yeah. Oh, Beena dropped off.
Um, okay, hang on. I'm gonna try this. Uh
Yeah. Or
oh.
otherwise, just triple click on it on the sentence. Just
Uh,
triple click
hang on.
and it usually
You know what
selects it
would
all.
just
Yeah.
be easier? I don't know what I just did here, but
Oh,
somehow.
maybe just easier to type it.
Yes, that's what I was.
Okay. I can type my end too. Okay.
Okay, let me just type. Let me go back
Oh.
over.
Or just dictate it to me and I'll type it.
Oh, well, you know what? I can type really easy.
Okay. 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 My typing's not that bad. I don't have touch typing, but I type pretty fast. But I still have to
There's
look at the
stuff.
keyboard pretty much. Ah, there we go. There we go. We can change the just by this leads to ah. Oh, did you give me a different quote? It was the one about the feeling bad that I was after.
Here it comes.
Oh, I see. Oh, it's a whole thing. Yeah, yeah.
I just put the whole thing in. You can do with it
Ah, I
as you
love
will.
it. I love it. Oh yeah. Oh no, no, great. I'll put the whole lot in. So perfect. Perfect. All right, take that out. And take the one out. All right. Keep going. Keep going.
Keep going, keep going.
Oh, my
Okay.
poor spelling is my poor spell checker is saying because it's got American spelling with all the Z's.
Oh, right, right, right. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Okay. So the next one is handling the immersion, which results in justifying our feelings, can happen before we even have the feelings. And I wrote that this is a strategy for prevention.
One second. Say that again. That was also huge. Wow.
Um, I thought that was a really interesting point in the thing that the whole thing about awareness and feelings, sort of
Mm.
the relationship between awareness and
Yes, 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 yes.
and that we can prevent ourselves from even getting into a bad mood by handling that immersion
Yeah.
ahead of time. If we are aware
Yes,
and we're
yes,
aware of our awareness,
yes,
we prevent
yes,
so much of
yes,
the bad
yes,
feelings.
yes, 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 yes.
And preventing bad feelings or preventing bad moods is the
Mm.
best use of energy.
Exactly,
So it
exactly,
is um,
exactly,
absolutely
exactly,
impeccable.
exactly. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
where am I?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh.
We can waste a lot of energy on bad moods and bad feelings.
Yeah,
You
isn't
know,
that astonishing?
it is.
And for what? Why?
Right.
Just why? Just why? Just why? It's like seriously, no other reason than just silly blinking habit.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's true.
Default. No particular good reason at all.
No.
None. Zero. All right. So I put a uh,
How do I get out of the chat? Oh, there we go. Okay. Never mind.
yeah.
Okay. Oh,
You need to bring up Zoom. Bring Zoom to the forefront. Yeah. So just make sure Zoom is on top now. Then you'll see the screen share.
I got
Right.
it. Got it.
Okay. You like that?
Realizing this leads to personal something.
Oh, did I not copy? Yeah, sorry, I haven't reread it yet. I was just showing you I was showing you the background, the picture at least that I
No,
chose.
I like it.
Yeah. Where's chat here? What did I miss here? Something. Unless that's what just came in your paste here. Yeah, it didn't. Oh, maybe. Yeah, it just cuts off there. So I haven't edited this yet. So what comes after personal? This
Okay,
leads
I
to
got to go back
personal.
somewhere to find my text.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get to my text.
Once you just well, I'll stop the share. You just have to bring Zoom up. You just hit escape pretty much. It'll bring you up to your taskbar. But I'll just exit from that. It's okay.
Okay, let
We
me.
can change the world in a positive way just by being aware. Realizing this leads to personal something or other. Once I realized that my feelings, plural, are my choice, I'm going to emphasize my. Yeah,
Right. Oh, realizing this leads to personal empowerment.
that's what I figured. All right. I don't want to put words in there, but that's what I figured. Empowerment. Okay, and I'm assuming you had since you have the personal capitalized, I'm assuming you have the E capitalized as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Once I realized, I'll just edit for you, little
Okay.
take out it. That don't need to be there, right? Once I realized my feelings are my choice, everything changed. Rationalizing having bad feelings doesn't make them feel any better. It's the rationalizing that feels good, not the underlying feeling.
Right.
Okay, connected. Yeah, brilliant, 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 brilliant. Look at that. Just love it. Just love it. I just love it. So this is interesting. This picture, I said, well, I'll pick a nice picture to represent K. Perfect. All right.
There we
It
go.
has that sobriety, that awareness, that humility, and that self honesty. And also, I only thought of it now when I looked at it. It looks a bit like that Haley Jackson that I was talking about.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah,
Very cool.
it was the first appropriate. When I choose, I go to the pictures and I say, okay, no, 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 it's the first appropriate one. There you go. So yeah,
Oh,
I think your slide needs a bit of color here, though.
oh,
Just
okay.
a
I
little
can't,
bit
I
of
don't
color.
see it anymore, so I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just add it there. Just put something that was colorful there. So yeah, it's a little something. Okay, we'll just pick a flower and well, one of these that's coming up now. I have to. It'll show in a second. It's just loading. Which one you like there of those? Okay,
Whoops. Oh, wow. I like them. I like a lot of them.
you like them all? I can put them all if you want.
No, no. Let's pick one.
Oh,
Um,
I mean, I'm going to put it in the space down the bottom here, so I could put two maybe. You see,
right,
two fit nicely. I mean, I can obviously size this.
right. Uh, Sarah, stop. Hold
I
that
mean,
down.
if it's two, they're gonna have to sort of be next to each other because I have to crop this now. So
Sure.
I guess I could crop each one. I could put it doesn't matter. I could put any two really. Yeah, or three even if need be.
All right. Well, I like the one on the lower right side. This one over here.
Okay, one in the corner. All right.
And then I like the other corner. The,
The bottom left.
no, the top left.
Ah, okay. So bottom right, top left. Okay.
Bottom right.
So
Top.
yeah, see, they didn't put these where I can crop them nicely, so I have to lose a little bit to get only that flower in. You see?
Well, you just do whatever you want because you're the
Yeah,
artist.
but you see the logic here. You
Mhm.
see? Yeah. Well, let's see. Maybe if I bring this in, go a little higher. Nope. It's just how they do in the things. So
Yeah.
okay. Now there's that one cropped, and then we just duplicate this real quick, and we go back to crop, and now we just take this to the other corner, and then there we go. This one is going to crop nicely.
Come on,
It
where?
don't matter that petal is taken off. It don't worry.
Oh no,
So
no, doesn't matter.
oh, there we go. All right. I think just for how's that? Now that does the one doesn't matter so much turned upside down. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
There we go. All right. That's it. That's it. All fun and games. I like that. I like
Okay.
that.
Oh,
Oh, oh, look, okay.
I can't see it.
I, oh, I'm still sharing, so just go back to Zoom on top.
Yeah.
I think I need a third one.
Okay, three. I like three. Three is good.
Right. So which one will be the third one?
Oh boy, this is
Let me pull them up again. So all right. Hold on. I have to do this. So I have to put it up here and then do the crop. Okay. So the third one now.
okay. The third one. In with the fact that I am good and I am honest with myself, how can I rationalize being in a bad mood? I can't.
Exactly.
It's impossible
Exactly.
to choose a
You
bad
cannot.
mood when I know that I am good. If my moods were not my choice, but were dependent upon a situation or condition, I could justify being in a bad mood. If they are my choice and I am good, I can't choose something bad. This would not be honest or in line with my native integrity. And that just makes a lot of sense to me, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. That's huge. That's huge. All right, have a look real quick, because otherwise
Okay.
my Mr. A is going to be bothered. So
Okay.
just to finish that up, so we can move on. So we can move on.
All right. Oh, I do like the cheek. Yeah, that is really cool.
Ah, it's huge. It's huge. It just changes the whole thing. Yeah. All right, that's it. Brilliant.
Okay.
Amazing, right? It's
Yep.
huge. Huge. All right. Brilliant. Brilliant. All right.
Looking good.
Yeah.
All right. Um, the next one is losing our awareness is one of the worst things that can happen. We must
Yes.
do everything
Yes.
possible to prevent it. This
Yes.
includes watching our awareness and not being fooled by self justification. My
Yeah.
takeaway was I must constantly battle to value awareness over being right. Valuing,
Oh, yes. 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 Yes.
valuing rightness
Yes.
leads to bubble mentality. Everything I value is made possible and made better by awareness. Unawareness and awareness cannot exist together. It's one or the other. I must constantly choose awareness.
Yes. That's huge. That constant battle to choose awareness over being right. And just from a way of impeccability point of view, we would say to choose understanding over either right or wrong, to
Mm,
choose understanding over agree or disagree. This is what we are constantly choosing: understanding, understanding, understanding. Because we can say, yes, awareness is potent, but your dog is aware to some degree also.
yes,
It's not
right,
enough.
right,
So if you take like in that awareness, discernment, and understanding, that's why those three are so potent. Why they make up ADU? Why do they add to you? Because if you take awareness plus discernment equals understanding. It's a formula,
okay, I like it.
right? So understanding is awareness with discernment.
Right,
Yes.
right,
But not just any old awareness, added, as you could say, okay, enhanced awareness. It's discernment specifically. And discernment here being seeing the layers, seeing the complexity, seeing it from multiple perspectives, right?
right.
Discernment is sophistication, in other words. This is what we want. This is when we get to capital U understanding.
I like it.
Yeah? Big deal. Big deal. Big, 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 big deal.
Okay, the next one. My repeat back is using the pressure of wanting to be good can help us with mood management and the
Mm.
ugly effects of bad moods. It can also help
Yes.
with not
Yes.
losing our awareness.
Yes.
And I said
Yes.
twofold good results. So two things good that can happen.
Yes.
Mood management is a huge topic with many layers. We'll look at a story to illustrate this overview perspective. And
Before you go there, real quick, sorry, Kay.
yes,
So, our theme here today, right, is affecting the world through awareness alone,
right,
right? Now, obviously, we can have a positive influence. We can just as well we have a negative influence. But if our awareness affects the world, how much more does our mood affect the world, particularly the world around us?
yes,
Right. So first we want the awareness so that we can affect our own moods, so that we don't inadvertently affect the mood in a negative way, the world. And this is how we leverage our goodness to make a difference, because we want to not make a difference negatively. We want to make a difference positively. And this control over our awareness and our moods is how we do it. And
right,
the leverage that we employ is this desire for goodness, right? We are
yes,
now just being good in the most appropriate way possible. Yeah. Yeah. Very exciting. Very, 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 very exciting. Yeah. Yeah. I just wanted to connect all the dots. Yeah.
oh yeah, absolutely,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely. It is so interesting, very interesting. And I think one of the things that's interesting for me is because of my situation and, really many people's situation in the world right now where we're so separated, um, it would be tempting to think, well, my mood doesn't really make any difference because, there's not really that many people that, I mean, when I was teaching and I was, I would walk into the room, my mood, they used to say, your mood as the teacher, your mood sets the weather in your classroom. And it strongly
Yeah,
affected a lot of other people.
yeah,
And
yeah,
little children are, more susceptible to being
yeah,
affected. And
yeah.
um, so, I was very aware of that. And I worked really hard not to not to be in a bad mood when I came into the classroom, despite the fact that ugly things had happened that morning, already or whatever. But I mean, I was well aware of it. But now the temptation is to think, well, it doesn't really make that much difference because there's not that many people, around me. And that's not true. I think that's not true. Even if you are not directly involved with other people, for big chunks of the day, it doesn't matter. I think your mood and your awareness affect the world.
Yes, yes, exactly, exactly, exactly. Yay, Beena's back.
Ah,
Yay, Beena, yay. Ah, glad you're back. Glad you're back. Ah, it's probably not hearing us yet. Glad you're back, Beena. Glad you're back. Brilliant, brilliant. Say that last part again, please. That's huge stuff you're sharing here. Okay, huge stuff, huge stuff.
um, I was just saying we were talking about mood affecting the world, our mood and our awareness, and how it affects the world. Um, but, when I was, being a classroom teacher, I was very well aware of the fact that my mood affected those little children really strongly. And so I made a very concerted effort not to walk into the classroom in a bad mood, even if bad things had already happened during the day. So I was aware of that. At this point in my life, um, and I think it's true for a lot of people because of COVID and, social distancing and staying at home and all of that, we're not connected physically or, being in close proximity to other people. But I still think that my mood and my awareness has a strong effect on the world. And I think every person, that's true for every person. Even if I'm not talking to a bunch of people, if I'm not in the same room with a bunch of people, I think that my mood and my awareness are still contributing to the goodness of the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Which sounds a little, I mean, I know there are people who would think that sounded kind of crazy, but I believe it to be true.
It is. It is. Again, it's coming down as Sil was sharing about being just positive, choosing to be positive. And it doesn't need any sort of verbal communication for that.
Right.
Yeah. So yes, it affects big time. I feel that from some people it happens like when they are in a good mood, you positive without having any conversation, you start your mood also start
Hmm.
uplifting
Hmm.
and and negative also.
Yes.
It
True.
yes, it is true for me also. Yes.
Yes. I believe it's true. Um, we were talking while you were gone about the pressure of wanting to be good and that desire for goodness puts a pressure on us, a positive pressure to make that choice um, of not only of good action, but just of good thought and of good mood and, that sense of being, that wanting to be good, that desire for good, and that feeling of responsibility. It is our responsibility to not be negative. That puts a pressure on us that helps us make the right choice, which is good. That's a good thing. And sometimes we need that extra pressure to help us for leverage. I'm going to practice saying that word. I love saying leverage. I think that sounds great. How do you say it? How do you say it? Beena, do you say leverage or leverage?
I just heard from you guys, almost every one of them, that leverage. So that's why I was saying it leverage. And it was a bit my side of carelessness because I didn't pay much attention to that. But it's derived from liver, so it has to be leverage. But
Yeah, yeah. But Americans say lever, don't they?
Yeah,
ah,
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we do.
yeah.
So
But
leverage.
again, that would be with two V's. I mean, it's lever,
You're
not
right. You're
lever.
right. You
Yeah,
are so
yeah.
right.
But that's Americans. I mean, just look at caramel.
We
Where
break
did
the
that
rules.
A go, Americans? What happened to the A? It just got, yeah. Caramel, not Carmel. That's a place in California on the coast. I used to live in Carmel. It's a very beautiful place.
yes.
We do a lot of weird things with the English language. It's true.
Yeah,
But
every language is a democracy, so it don't matter.
There you go. If it's not changing, it's dying. So
Exactly. Anyway, keep going.
it's okay. Just one more question about this.
Oh, sure.
When you said that want to be good, a pressure of want to be good. Is this a want to be good or have to be good, should be good?
mm,
Interesting.
I think that's a big excuse me, I've got a tongue in my throat. There's a big difference. I think the desire, Sarah, what is wrong? What's wrong with you? Just whining.
What's she doing?
Just whining and whining. Go lie down. Go lie
Wow.
down. We have a few more minutes and then we're gonna go eat that. Okay? Go lie down. Um, for me, there's a difference between really wanting to be good versus I should be. Should comes from outside, and that desire comes from inside love. Um, I think there is an internal desire to be good that isn't necessarily connected to should.
Hmm. Exactly. Not in with this intensity, but have to also have the same, almost same kind of a.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have to do this. Choosing it. But you use the word specifically want to.
Right.
This is good. This is good. And this have to be good and want to be good. And uh, I know that in way of impeccability there are so many very specific perspective about any shoulds,
Right.
even to be. Um, I accept that in case of being cheerful, being welcoming, being other gestures and other expressions. I said that okay, I don't need to do that.
Right.
But when it comes to being good, not nice, but just want to be good,
Right.
I
Right. Right.
accept that, and I accept all these have to, shoulds also, because the end result for me is good. Because if I sometimes I'm not innately in a good or positive being or in a good being actually, then if I feel some pressure, it's a leverage to push me that okay, just go out. So in this case, I accept some shoulds that okay, it is good because I'm getting value out of it.
Right. Well, and
With
I don't know. I mean, that's a good thing to think about. But um, for me, the way I'm feeling about it is I am good. I recognize myself as good. It is my native self is good.
Yes.
And so, because that is what I am, that I always want to be that. I always want to
Yes.
feel that.
Yes.
I want to
Yes.
behave in a way that, whatever. I want to
Yeah.
already is what I am, opposed to what I really am is dishonest and
hmm,
just doesn't
hmm, hmm,
feel right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking of
Yeah.
it more in that way, in rather than I want to do this, I'm trying, or whatever. Or I feel like there's some standard that someone else is holding me to, or something like that. It's not that. This is who I am. And so this is how I want to be, how I want to express who I really am. If
hmm,
that,
hmm, hmm. This is really interesting because when it comes to honesty, uh, this I am a good person thing in the first module, first session, first slide
mm-hmm.
works
Yes.
for me. That even it's not about my whole being in question. That okay, if I'm not feeling good, then my whole being is in question. That oh, am I a good person or not? And this is
Right.
something. This kind of like duh thing I've accepted. Now the mood, that state of being in that present moment. Sometimes I do feel that it's a good leverage to just accept it. That okay, Beena, you should be. So this thing in that particular moment, I specifically use that sometimes it works like a leverage because when I feel a bit down, when I feel that come on, like it's going on, and then a leverage that okay, you have to be good. It holds on. It helps me to practice power pause. It helps me to practice courtesy and care and love and compassion. And
Right.
so this thing is I use it sometimes. I use it to leverage myself, my own mood.
Right. Right.
Person, but I caught up in some not. So I leverage this particular should
Hello.
hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Hello. Brilliant. Brilliant. Brilliant.
Maybe.
How are you all doing?
Yes. Fantastic. Fantastic. Most happy and excited and good, and everything is brilliant and awesome and marvelous. So, very good.
Wow, that's
Very
some
good.
serious positivity right there.
Yes. The world is a good place, and to be positive even when stuff happens doesn't make any difference. The world is still a beautiful and a magical place. We cannot just have our reverence for the world be any less. For me, it actually, when there's a little dip, it actually adds to my reverence. It makes me appreciate the world even more. Yes. And magical people, that like I'm surrounded with right now, makes me appreciate them even more. So now's the time to appreciate.
Good point. Very good point.
Yeah, yeah. I don't want ever you can put on my tombstone, I never took the magic and the beauty and the awesome for granted. Not one single moment. Never.
That
Never. That,
that is
never.
something to say. That is something to
Yeah, yeah. Now's the time to enjoy. Brilliant.
say.
Brilliant, brilliant. All right, so make a note where we're at,
Okay.
Kay. That are just so fabulous. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
this
yeah. I'm
chapter.
glad we're getting back to it because really, really, just such power today. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
I think so. Let me look.
power. A lot of power. A lot of power.
But
Brilliant,
I think we
brilliant,
stopped
brilliant.
at a very good spot. So, all
Yes, we
right.
stopped at a very good spot. Yes,
Okay.
brilliant,
I
brilliant.
am going to go downstairs and eat lunch.
Ah, brilliant, brilliant. And
So,
Sarah too gonna eat
oh
lunch, I
yeah,
hope.
she eat lunch. She's
All
at the internal clock is working really well. All right,
right.
Bill. I'll
All
probably
right. See
hear
you
you.
on Thursday then. All right. Bye bye, Kay. Bye bye. Bye bye.